Fieldhouse next weekend to put an end to March Madness. One of the favorites in Division I gets a tough test down in Janesville tonight. Janesville Craig playing at Janesville Parker. Kind of a home game, and Craig takes the early lead. Eric Brown cleans up Jason Elliott's miss. And it's more Craig in the first half. Brian Dillon from outside. Craig up by 3, 26-23 at halftime. Second half, though, Oak Creek keeps it close. Clint Baker, the stuff. So Craig's Paul Zelmer gets hot. He hits from three-point land, and then again baseline. Craig goes on to win this one and move on to the state tournament.
Well, I'll tell you, this was one of the toughest sectionals in the state. Any one of the 4 teams I thought had a good chance to do it. When you can come through, beat a team like Beloit and Oak Creek back-to-back, you've earned it.
They've earned it. Still looking for their first state title, though. Janesville Craig wins at 61-53. Middleton's state tournament bid comes up a game
has ever seen. They should be extremely proud of what they did.
In Division 4,
Cougars 22-1. They're having a fantastic season, second rate in the state. They are coming off a 65-62 sectional semifinal victory over Beloit Memorial last night, and will look to keep it rolling tonight, which would give them their first trip to the state tournament since '92. And if you look at this Craig Cougar team, they are so potent at all facets of the game, but one of the things that can knock you out is their three-point shooting. They were 9 of 16 in the first half last night. They had 10 trays in all in the ball game, and that is going to be something that the Knights will have to look at this evening. Patrick?
Yeah, the Craig Cougars, second in the state, as you mentioned, are led by two strong guards, Paul Zelmer. We all know about him. He was second in Big 8 scoring, 18-point-a-game average. Over the season in 22 games, he scored 383 points. But his most telling statistic, what Ryan was just talking about, 32% three-point shooter, 58% two-point shooter, and that's backed up by the other guard, Brian Dillon, a 5'9 senior who's 40% on three-pointers for the season, 54% from the field. And the Cougars are going to have to rely on their guards because of the tall front line of the Oak Creek Knights. Brian Dillon controls the action on the floor from point guard. He had 18 points last night, but the biggest key in last night's game was off the bench. Eric Brown and Gabe Cruz, both 6'6 juniors, teamed up for 11 points and 13 rebounds in a key win last night over Beloit.
And those two guys might have to come up big this evening against what you mentioned, Patrick, is a big and powerful Oak Creek team who come in, as I mentioned just a bit ago, at 14-9. They are definite Cinderella in this Janesville Parker sectional. They are coming off upsetting the highly ranked 20-2 Kenosha Tremper team last night, 59-51 in overtime. We got to it big and physical. And, you know, on top of it all, they were highly touted, Patrick, in the preseason. They were ranked number 3 in the Wisconsin Basketball Yearbook's preseason rating. So, you know, in high school basketball, it doesn't matter when you get it going, as long as you do towards tournament time. And they are rolling right now with a chance at a victory tonight and a first meeting to state since the year 1984. So we should have an interesting one tonight for you.
Yeah, the reason that Knights ended up 14-9 was losing some close games because they were rated highly at the beginning of the season, and that tall lineup, Tremaine Gardiner, a 6'5 senior, averages 16.5 points a game, scored 21 last night. In the playoffs, he scored 13 against Racine Case and 14 against Racine Horlick. Also, they have a 6'2 junior starter, Ben Walker, 22 against Racine Case in the regional opener. He's a 2-time all-conference player. He scored 13 last night against Kenosha, and he hit a shot with 47 seconds to force the overtime last night. Backing that up, 2 other players, 6'5", Clint Bear and John Michaels. They both average 11 points a game, and they are strong and tall over there in Oak Creek.
Well, Patrick, a trip to state is on the line in the sectional final game between the Craig Cougars and the Oak Creek Knights, and we'll get it all started in just a bit with the starting lineups and the tip-off. And before that, we'd like to thank all our sponsors tonight, because without their support, none of this would be possible. And we would like to thank Commercial Bank, Jerry's Hamburgers, Janesville Rental Center, the Janesville Sports Shop, Lions Quick Mart, Minutemen Press, Yeoman Lathrop Insurance. Once again, thank you to all our sponsors, including Loop Rose. And once again, we'll bring it all to you in just a bit. You're watching Tournament Basketball on Marcus Cable.
I remember coming to Jerry's when I was a little boy. All I needed was a little change in my pocket, and I could enjoy a delicious hot hamburger, fries, and a soda. I'm older now, but I still enjoy coming to Jerry's. Even today, it doesn't cost much to get great food. Jerry's has a variety of sandwiches, side orders, drinks, even family packs and dinners. No, not much has changed over the years. Jerry's still has great food at great prices, but now it's my son that comes to Jerry's with a pocket full of change. Jerry's, tradition never tasted so good.
All right, welcome back to the Parker High School Gymnasium. Janesville and Oak Creek about to do battle to see who gets a chance to move on to the field house at Madison. And Patrick, starting lineups tonight, let's take a look.
For the Craig Cougars tonight, Brian Dillon and Paul Zelmer at the guards. Brian is number 10, number 14 is Paul Zelmer, Ben Nichols and Brian Dougal, along with Jason Elliott in the front line. For the Oak Creek Knights coming in will be Ben Walker and Bob Anderson at the guards, Tremaine Gardiner and John Michaels at the forwards, and in the center for the Oak Creek Knights will be Clint Bear. We're about ready to tip her off here.
Gardiner and Dougal, and Oak Creek controls the opening tip. And it is Dillon on Nichols. Inside of Gardiner, off the glass and in.
For the Knights, number 33, Tremaine
And this one is underway. Zelmer quickly penetrates under some defensive pressure. Got to get it back out. Dillon controls it, guarded by Walker. And Walker gets a piece of it, and he tips it out of bounds, but it goes out on Craig, and Oak Creek will get it back.
Oak Creek denying Craig the first time down the floor, setting up, started doing a 2-3 zone, but that broke down pretty quickly. Craig with a real spread out defense.
Gardner under a double team, throws it away, but it goes off on the Cougars. So Clint Bear will inbound it.
I don't know, despite the records, I think this is a big challenge for the Cougars.
Well, we mentioned that Oak Creek was third in the state in the preseason polls, so they have definite talent. They just decided to put it on right now. Here's Walker. Good defense put on by the Cougars.
Cougars have worked on defense, but so have the Oak Creek Knights. They have averaged 57 points or less by their opponents in 10 of their games this season. 10 of 23 games, they have only allowed 57 or less points.
Bear back to Michaels at the top. Showing some patience. And the fans are citing in boring, but you know, they're looking for the quality shot. And coming off in a game like this where you got a chance to go to state, you don't want to rush things and take bad shots. You want good shot selection, and that's what they're working on. And there's some defense paying dividends. Here comes Dillon on the breakaway. And a missed layup, and the rebound to Walker.
Now, I was just going to mention that slow-down game isn't going to work very well against an explosive team like the Craig Cougars, because they can put up the points in a hurry, and then that slow-down game goes away.
Here's Bear. Misses the layup. Walker right there to put it back in, and good.
For the Knights, number 4,
Benny
Ben
Walker, the 6'2"
Walker.
junior. 5:53 remains in the first, just underway. 4-0 Knights. Oak Creek came in after an unbelievable win against Kenosha Tremper in overtime last night. And Ben Nichols will draw the foul.
Foul is on Oak Creek's number 30. Tremaine Gardner. First personal, first team foul.
Tremaine Gardner, a 6'5" senior, picks up the foul. His first team foul of the night. Inside at Dougal, nice little turnaround, a little long.
One shot opportunity for the Cougars as the rebound is picked up by John Michaels.
Walker penetrates, nice dish underneath to number 34, John Michaels, the 6'5" senior. They've got so many players, 6'3" and above. And Zelmer under a double team. Draws the foul. And can you believe it? As offensive as this Craig Cougars team, still about 3 minutes gone by, still looking for their first points of the ball game. Zelmer will inbound it. Still looking. Finally gets it in to Nichols. And Nichols is called with the travel. And I'm almost thinking that there should have been a pushing call against Oak Creek. And so did Bob Suter, the head coach of the Cougars.
Both these teams coming off tough games last night, overtime for the Knights, and a tough Beloit team faced the Cougars.
Good defense here put on by the Craig Cougars, forced Gardner to just throw it about anywhere, and he throws it out of bounds.
And defense is what one of Craig's strong points is, and they need it here with 6 points on the board, nothing for the Cougars.
Dougal out to Zelmer, thought about the tray. Gives it back up to Dougal for the short jumper. No good, and the Cougars are very cold right now.
Gardner on the rebound for the Knights.
And they came out firing last night against the Purple Knights. They hit 9 of 16 trays in the first half. They hit 10 in a ball game. And there's been a 5-second violation against the Knights. And a good break for the Craig Cougars, down 6-0 with 4:27 remaining in the first.
Cougars with that mythical cover on the basket haven't hit anything. Have taken some nice shots and some open shots.
Jason Elliott into the ball game for the Cougars, bringing some size in. He did a nice job last night off the bench. Zelmer, three-pointer.
Yes!
Three-point basket, number 14.
And the first points in the ball game for the Craig Cougars comes from Paul Zelmer and the tray.
Nothing but the net.
And a near steal by Brian Dougal.
And a quick save of the ball by Al Fagerly of WCLO.
Nice job there by Big Al.
Number 52, Tim Volkowski.
So Ben Nichols will bring it up for the Cougars. Out to Zelmer, firing the tray again.
A
and he is fouled.
A long three by Zelmer. He was well behind the three-point line, and he got slammed out of bounds by number 50, Bob Anderson. First foul.
Second personal, third team foul. A shooting foul at the line for the Cougars. Number 14, Paul Zelmer for three.
Paul Zelmer last night against Beloit Memorial had 12 points. Well below his average, but still, nonetheless, getting the job done.
Well, the way the game's unfolding now, they'll need Dillon's 40% and Zelmer's 32% three-point shooting because they're not getting them inside right now.
Well, these two teams don't match up well at all. Craig, a very guard-oriented defensive, uses a lot of quickness and outside shooting. Oak Creek, with their size, is a definite post-up ball team. So that is why kind of, with two teams not matching up very well, should be interesting to look to see how it plays out. Malkowski with a short jumper, long rebound to Elliott. And there's a foul called. And it's going to be against Oak Creek.
Nice rebound there by Jason Elliott, allowing the Knights only one shot on offense.
14 foul, and there's still 3:26 left in the first quarter, and that's something to keep an eye on. Last night that had really paid dividends for the Fort Atkinson team, not committing the fouls to allow Oregon to get to the line. It went the other way, and it helped out Fort Atkinson down the stretch. And another foul is called on Oak Creek.
This time on number 52, Tim Milkowski.
Number 52, Tim Milkowski.
Knocking Zelmer to the floor. A little physical out here, the team from Oak Creek.
You bet.
Intimidation basketball. We'll see if Craig can be intimidated. I don't think so. They're in the Big 8.
Zelmer, right wing, tries to get it inside and is taken away. And Benny Walker will bring it up, guarded by Dillon.
Gardiner taking that ball away from the Cougars.
Milkowski kicks it back out to Nichols, trying to losing the handle on it. And
there's Bob Suter, head coach for the Janesville Craig Cougars on your screen, going for his 175th win as the coach of the Craig Cougars.
Well, we mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this. I know I mentioned the fact that Oak Creek is looking for their first trip to state since 1984. And for the Cougars, they're looking for their first trip since '92, where they lost to Milwaukee King in the quarterfinals. It would also be their fourth trip in 9 seasons.
Yeah, I remember that game well. The Cougars were just overwhelmed by Rufus King that year when they got to the state floor after a fine season.
Another big body in for the Cougars, Eric Brown, 6'6". Bear. Fans once again chanting boring. They understand, hey, no shot clock, do what you have to do to win the game. And Gardner.
Shot won't count.
Ball is on the Cougars. Number 22, Ben
And
Nichols.
Going about
First
6 minutes
personal,
almost without
second
picking
team
up a foul.
They
Cougars
have
have
the
picked
ball,
up
ball
two
to Oak
quickly and
Creek.
have 2
Out of bounds.
in this quarter.
And at the 2-minute mark of the first quarter, we're only at 6-5.
Bear fires it inside, it's tapped away, but Gardner's right there to pick it up.
Underhanded shot, probably giving Craig the 3rd foul.
Ball is on the Cougars, number 54.
And boy, oh boy,
Eric
talking
Brown.
about doing a nice
First
job in
personal,
keeping
third
away
team
from foul
foul.
trouble.
A shooting
3
foul
quick
at
ones
the
for
line
Craig.
for the Knights.
And Gardner,
Number 33,
Tremaine Gardner, who
Tremaine
lit it up last
Gardner.
night against Tremper, he had 21, will go to the line.
Eric Brown committing the foul for the Cougars.
Unable to connect.
All 5 points for the Cougars scored by Zelmer.
One for 2 for Gardner and the Oak Creek Knights. They are up by 2, under 2 in the first. Dillon. Here's Nichols. Really right now, Craig unable to go inside. There's Dougal. Dougal had a shot a bit ago, a little turnaround, but he was off the mark, and that's been about it for the Cougars in the paint. Eric Meyer into the ball game. Here's Nichols on the drive, and they're shutting the outside or the inside off. Dougal misses the rebound.
Yeah, Craig is going to have to go to the outside game. They do that well because the Oak Creek Knights clog that middle very well.
Eric Meyer, another one of the bench players, doing a nice job last night against the Purple Knights.
Defense for the Craig Cougars holding in there also. Very low scoring so far in the first quarter.
And speaking of Eric Meyer,
Eric Meyer,
he picks up the foul. First personal foul,
team
4th team of the Cougars.
Substitutions returning in the Cougar lineup.
And
Number
Zelmer
15,
will come
Jason Elliott,
back in
and number
for the
14,
Cougars.
Paul
Brian
Zelmer.
Dillon sits out.
John Tanham, head coach for the Oak Creek Knights on your screen there.
Brian Gadowski.
Brian Gadowski comes in for the Oak Creek Knights. Brian Gadowski, another well-sized player, a 6'4" junior.
And that confirms the switch that we were debating on earlier, a number mix-up.
Yes, he did change his uni in the locker room. And a nice play there by Tremaine Gardner.
His 5th point.
Gardner.
Man-to-man defense by the Knights right now.
Foul's going to be called on Gardner, reaching in on Eric Brown.
Number 33, Tremaine Gardner, second.
And that's his second foul of the ball game.
Team foul.
16 foul.
For the Knights, number 32, Andy Mays.
And we'll be going into the bonus.
Ball to the Cougars, out of bounds.
Next foul.
Andy Mays into the ball game for the Knights. Zelmer to inbound it. Zelmer for 3, a little off the mark.
Rebound,
and a
number
nice save
24.
there by Meyer.
Traveling.
And a traveling violation will give the Knights a break. 35 seconds remaining in the first quarter between the Janesville Craig Cougars and the Oak Creek Knights. The winner moving on to the Fieldhouse in Madison in a state berth. Delighted to have you with us.
Craig putting on the pressure.
And stolen by Brown.
It's stolen
and right back by number 32, Andy Mays.
Paul Zelmer doing a little tumbling on the floor.
Foul is on Oak Creek, number 32, Andy Mays.
And it's bonus time for the Craig Cougars.
Andy Mays really getting into everything there.
At the line for the
with the
Cougars,
foul.
shooting 1-1, Paul Zelmer.
And yes, Patrick, a very low-scoring affair here.
And very physical by the Oak Creek Knights.
Well, right now, Oak Creek doing a nice job keeping the Cougars from going inside, pretty much relying on their outside shot. And Oak Creek, with their low point outage, due to a lot of patience. They're not trying to rush things on offense, looking for the quality shots.
What Cougars will have to do to take them out of that game is explode and score, go on a good 5-6 and even better run. And then Oak Creek is going to have to play a different game.
Zelmer with the favorable roll. Gadowski. And Walker will control it. Malkowski, nothing there. And that will do it for quarter number 1 here at the Janesville Parker Gymnasium, and the Oak Creek bench liking what they see. They're up by 2 after 1. Quarter 2 right around the corner. This is tournament basketball on Marcus Cable.
How would you describe Lions Quick Mart?
Fast.
Friendly.
Convenient.
Wow, great candy!
Fast, friendly, convenient. Lions Quick Mart, with 4 locations to serve you.
Welcome back. A very low-scoring first quarter in this Division I sectional final game between Craig and Oak Creek. 9-7. Oak Creek leads it, but the Cougars have the basketball. And Brian Dillon controls it. Benny Nichols out to Zelmer. Good speed. Wow, he's quick. And there's Nichols firing the tray short. Rebound trying to Malkowski, and Walker will come away with it, and he draws the foul as a double team swarmed him, and they got a little too close.
Brian Dillon, first personal, 5th team foul.
Brian Dillon with his second foul.
Second personal on Dillon.
Craig, or I should say Oak Creek, got off to the fast start, 6-0. But they've kind of cooled off a bit as Zelmer gets the layup. And it has pretty much been Zelmer as the Cougar offense early on.
To set up that shot, Jason Elliott made a fantastic steal. Zelmer with most of the Cougars' points. He has 9.
Inside of number 34, John Michaels. And there to put it in, number 24, Brian Godowski. As you could probably hear the PA say.
Yeah, the PA announcer is doing half her work for us here.
Foul is on the Knights. Number 4, Ben Walker.
Ben Walker draws the foul for the Knights.
Bonus in effect. At the line for the Cougars, number 10, Brian Dillon.
5'9" senior.
Boy, I'm having no problem listening to the PA over the headphones and the crowd and everything going on.
Yeah, I wonder what
loud and clear.
He must be pretty loud when you don't have the headphones on, because we hear him right through them. Packed crowd here at Parker Gymnasium. Both ends of the court with fans, as you see on your screen.
Standing room only.
Hey.
Good to see. And we have a nice one thus far, tied up at 11. Walker under some pressure, gets it away, and that full court press will never end. Craig just able to go to the bench to fresh legs and press you all night long.
Still have their starting guards, Zelmer and Dillon, on the floor.
And it will come back the other way as Oak Creek called with the foul.
Foul is on Oak Creek, number 30, Clint
Number
Bear.
30, Clint Bear, the 6'6" senior, and a timeout is called, and that's a good time to let everybody know, Patrick.
Well, you know, with the Lou Pros, when it's time for a change, Lou Pros on Milton Avenue is proud to sponsor Janesville Craig High School sports. Come see the pros at Lou Pros. Our 21-point safety and maintenance program will keep your car in top-notch condition in only 10 minutes with no appointment. Lou Pros, Milton Avenue in Janesville, when it's time for a change.
Cougars looking for their first to the field house since '92. First trip for Oak Creek since the year 1984. And with 6:28, there's the score, folks, knotted up at 11. And let's take a look to see how each team got here. Oak Creek, they beat Racine Case in the first round, then they knocked off Racine Horlick. And then last night, highly touted Kenosha Trimper, they took them to overtime and knocked them out in OT, 59-51. The Cougars, they beat Parker, then they knocked out McGuanago 80-63 in the regional finals, and then last night they topped Beloit for the third time this season, 65-62.
And in other playoff action, to follow up on our game that just preceded this one, Fort Atkinson at this time tonight is playing Portage.
Believe it or not,
Sauk Prairie.
A lot of upsets last night. And Oak Creek doing their job thus far to maybe come out with one tonight.
Oak Creek upsetting Kenosha, Portage upsetting Sauk Prairie.
Here's Godowski off the dribble. And Dougal goes to the floor, and there's going to be a foul on the Craig Cougars.
So far in this game, Dougal has fought hard for rebounds on both ends of the court. He has been beat out a couple times, but he has got his share, and then immediately fouled. A lot of the fouls by the Oak Creek Knights have been set up by the rebounding of Dougal.
I don't know what you just said there,
I
Patrick,
don't know.
because of the
Oh, boy, I can't hear myself. I don't know what I just said. I'll have to watch the replay.
I couldn't hear it. I caught bits and pieces of it, Patrick, but that's about it. All right. Here's Walker, guarded by Zelmer. Couple of quality talents right there. Here's Malkowski on the dribble. And
charging!
Wow, I don't know about that. That is a poor call.
Foul is on Oak Creek, number 52.
And there's one of those calls where I'd love to have instant replay to go back and take a look. I didn't see the contact.
Foul. The ball to the Cougars out of bounds.
Good acting, though.
That's nuts.
Still tied at 11.
And pressure put on by Oak Creek. Here's Meyer. Has to kick it back out. Zelmer kind of looked at the three. Here's Dougal. Outside, that's a long two. Rebound to Walker.
His shot was altered by Oak Creek's defense.
For a big guy, Brian Dougal can shoot the outside jumper, but didn't have the right thing there.
Oak Creek still playing the slowdown.
Gardner from the line, off the mark, rebound to Brown, pushes it up to Zelmer. Here come the Cougars. Zelmer, good speed, drives. Can he get it to go?
A shot and a foul.
Foul and a chance at a three-point play.
Silver. Ball is on Oak Creek's number 4. Ben Walker, second personal.
His 10th point, Paul Zelmer, and he goes to the line for an opportunity for a three-point conversion.
Number 50, Jason Elliott.
Because of his
Zelmer
quickness,
at the line.
it picks up for where he doesn't have the size. He is so quick on going to the open hole. He can go to the basket with the best of them. He is so quick. And then with that outside shot that he has, an all-around outstanding ball player. Paul Zelmer. And here's a steal by Nichols. Kicks it out to Zelmer, top of the key. Come on! I had to do a little.
Zelmer is the hero in the game so far, no doubt about it. The crowd explodes.
Had to do a little Neil Funk there. Chicago Bulls announcer, I just had to do it.
Ball is on the Cougars. Number 50.
That's exciting.
Jason Elliott. First personal, 7th team foul.
That is flat out
for the Knights.
exciting.
Number 52, Tim Milkowski, shooting 2.
Timmy Mikowski, the 6'4" junior at the line. And a very crucial trip to the free throw line. And he gets the pair, so it kind of silences the Craig fans just a wee bit. And Eric Brown right there with the putback.
Off the rebound, Eric Brown.
He's doing his own little play-by-play over there.
Yeah, he
Off
is.
the rebound, Eric Brown.
I was going to say, we can just kind of rest here,
you know,
watch the game. Huh?
Should we just sit back and relax?
Read those sponsors and the commercials, and that's it, right?
Craig fans starting to come alive once again. Slowing it down. Oak Creek down by 6, 3:40 left in the second quarter. Gardner at their top, fires it inside of Malkowski under a double team, and he will draw the foul. Nice intensity play by Tim Malkowski, and he'll go to the line once again.
Number 50, Jason Elliott, second personal.
Foul was on Jason Elliott, the 6'4" junior of the Cougars.
For the Knights, number 52, Tim Malkowski. A substitution in the Cougar lineup. Number 52,
And Jeff Elliott comes in.
Elliott.
And doing the job from the line, Tim Malkowski. Trying to make it 4 in a row. And
Wow,
he does.
he has a pretty shot.
He does.
Nice arc. Makes the basket round the higher it arcs.
Nichols. Here's Dillon around the perimeter. Zelmer. Dillon's going to still fire the three, even with the hand in his face.
Point basket number 10, Brian Dillon.
Went right over Benny Walker of Oak Creek.
Oh, yeah, Benny Walker was all in his face.
And it's steal by Zelmer and the bucket.
Paul Zelmer.
Zelmer is alive tonight, folks.
Oh, God. He is hotter than a little red wagon, and the Cougars as well right now. And a 10-second. Couldn't get it across, and there's that pest paying dividends for the Cougars.
Yeah, they press work that time. They kept them from going to the line.
Oak Creek will call a timeout. Tom Tatum, the head coach, got to settle his team down 24-15, 2:46 left in the second. So with that timeout, we'll take a break as well. You're watching tournament basketball on Marcus Cable.
Heaters, floor sanding equipment, cross-country skis.
Janesville Rental Center is the area's headquarters for all of your rental needs.
Gas, car seats, packaging and shipping.
They have
party
up-to-date
tents,
equipment
paint
backed by
sprayers,
first-rate
lawn and
service.
garden
They'll
equipment,
take the time
door
before you
scrubbers,
leave to show you how to
compactors,
use the equipment
wallpaper
properly.
steamers, pig roasters, tow bars, wheelbarrows.
You won't believe what's
air
all available
compressors.
until you see it all for yourself. Janesville Rental Center, open 7 days a week on Pontiac Drive just east of Shopko. Call 754-6628.
Well, so far, quickness is prevailing over size. The Cougars, the quick team, Oak Creek has the size, but right now, it has been all Cougars since midway through the second. And Zelmer is on fire.
And now the run that I was talking about earlier for the Cougars is what they needed, because with a 9-point lead here, that means the Knights can't play that slowdown. They got to do some catching up, and if that alters their game, that could be to the Cougars' advantage.
Foul is on Oak Creek's number 52, Tim Milkowski. Third personal substitution.
Milkowski
Number
with his
24,
third foul,
Brian
so the
Kwiatkowski.
Knights have
At
two
the
people
line
in foul
for the
trouble right now,
Cougars, number
Bob
22,
Anderson and Tim
Ben
Milkowski.
Nichols.
Bob Anderson being the starter, Milkowski subbing for him.
And Nichols hits the first. Jim is starting to heat up, but I know it won't be as hot as the hot box, the Williams Center on the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater campus. That place gets like an oven. Walker guarded by Zelmer, and Zelmer once again with that quick defense of his. Gardner on the penetration goes around a bunch of defenders and gets a big bucket
Number 33,
for the Knights
Tremaine Gardner.
to cut the lead to 8. Here's Dougal underneath, working hard, pushes it out to Zelmer, back of the rim, no good. Gardner with the long rebound.
Dougal on good defense on that shot by Wagner last time down the court for the Knights. Wagner just shot over him.
Bear, right wing into Gardner, turn around, drops it in on number 4, Ben Walker. A nice play there by Oak Creek. So 4 quick points by the Knights. And a traveling call on Brian Dillon. So another break
in the Cougar lineup
for the
number
Knights.
24, Eric Meyer.
The tide had turned big time, but now a chance to go on a little 6-0 run of their own if they can convert here, or maybe even more.
Lead reduced to 5 points by the Knights. The Craig's Cougars were up by 9 not too long ago.
They have to push it across. They were called with a 10-second just a bit ago, but they do, and there's Bear underneath, who is stuffed by Jeff Elliott, but he commits the foul.
Well, that's good. He'll have to earn it from the free throw line.
Number 52, Jeff Elliott, first personal.
Jeff Elliott, Jason Elliott, 2 guys that know how to come in and play a physical type game.
Oak Creek, number 30.
And that's very important with the size advantage that Oak Creek carries. But right there, Clint Bear converting first time. And, you know, Oak Creek thus far doing the job from the line.
6 in a row for Oak Creek from the free throw line.
Meyer. And a steal by Godowski. Godowski under some pressure, finds Walker at the top. John Michaels. Inside to Walker, nice layup.
Number 4,
once again,
Ben Walker.
Gardner and Walker hooking up. And Nichols
Mugged in the lane.
is borderline clothesline.
Foul is on Oak Creek, number 30, Clint Bear. Second personal. At the line.
And
for
just
the
when
Cougars, number 22,
the
Ben
Cougars were out to
Nichols.
that nice
Shooting
lead,
2.
Oak Creek has chipped their way back, down only by 2, a little over half a minute left. Craig with a chance to just make it a little more, and does it. So Oak Creek liking their effort right now to keep this one close. And he got the roll with that. So down by 3, half a minute remains. Here's Bear, nice turnaround move. And it's out of bounds on Dougal. And Dougal, you know, just getting where he wasn't supposed to be, reached out and just got a hand on it. Should have known better to lay off, but you know, just one of those easy mistakes. A lot of things going on out there. Those things will happen.
Substitution.
You just hope that they don't.
Dougal has been providing some good defense under both sides of the court, offense and defense. He's been a presence in the paint.
And you know, you would think it would be the other way around. Now here Walker is controlling it, but Gardner does a little running the point himself. And a nice little turnaround, but way off the mark is Michaels. You know, just kind of getting back, you see Gardner running the point a little bit. He's had a couple of nice plays where he's gotten the ball inside to Ben Walker.
Well, rotating positions like that confounds the defense.
Yeah, it really does. And the half will end. And boy, oh boy, we got a humdinger for you. 26-23, Craig leads it. The winner will move on to the field house in Madison. We will bring you the third quarter and the second half in just a bit. You're watching tournament basketball on Marcus Cable.
When I run out of business forms, I need more fast. Time is money when you own your own business, so I call Minuteman Press. I give them my account number and they have my forms on file. I get quality printing and quick turnaround time. Minuteman Press works for me.
Billing forms, letterhead, business cards, brochures, and much more. For all of your printing needs, call the experts at Minuteman Press. Visit our downtown location or call us at 752-7428. Minuteman Press, printing for the job you needed yesterday.
For everyone working to build a business, there is an independent traveler's agent there to help, a partner, someone who understands your needs and can design a commercial insurance program to protect your company and your employees. Your independent traveler's agent, the Travelers, America's umbrella.
Your Travelers agents are Chuck Elliott, John Berry, and Bruce Ginzel of Yeoman's Lathrop Insurance at 111 North Main, or call us at 756-8440.
I remember coming to Jerry's when I was a little boy. All I needed was a little change in my pocket, and I could enjoy a delicious hot hamburger, fries, and a soda. I'm older now, but I still enjoy coming to Jerry's. Even today, it doesn't cost much to get great food. Jerry's has a variety of sandwiches, side orders, drinks, even family packs and dinners. No, not much has changed over the years. Jerry's still has great food at great prices, but now it's my son that comes to Jerry's with a pocket full of change. Jerry's, tradition never tasted so good.
How would you describe Lions Quick Mart?
Fast.
Friendly.
Convenient.
Wow, great candy!
Fast, friendly, convenient. Lions Quick Mart, with 4 locations to serve you.
Third quarter action about to get underway in this Division I sectional final game between the Janesville Craig Cougars and the Oak Creek Knights. And the winner will advance to the Fieldhouse in Madison and the state tournament. And Patrick, first half, Paul Zelmer of the Cougars lit it up.
Oh, did he ever. 15 points, 2 3-pointers. Brian Dillon with 3. The entire front court of the Cougars had 6. On the other side for the Knights, Tremaine Gardner with 7, Ben Walker with 6, and Tim Mikowski with 4, all on free throws.
Well, midway through the second quarter, Craig really started to pull away, but then all of a sudden, Oak Creek called a timeout. They came back, went on a little run of their own, and got it back to within 3. So we've got a nice one for you. Delighted that you could join us. 26-23, just underway here in the third. And once again, patience is the name of the game for the Oak Creek Knights. And the fans not liking it.
Well, when they went down by 9, and that was Craig's biggest lead, the Knights were capable of speeding it up and scoring a lot of points, closing in to within 2, and then now they're down to 3. But now with the score close, they're back to the slowdown game.
Well, Bob Anderson draws the double team, gives it up to Walker, goes with the runner. And the rebound, Craig controls it with Nichols. Look at the speed.
Nichols, nice rebound.
Over to Zelmer, wide open for the tray. No. And a tie-up, and it will be a jump ball.
Arrow, Janesville Craig.
They dragged each other out of bounds.
Well, you know, talking to Al Fagerly over on the WCLO, before the game, I asked his take, and he said it's going to be physical, physical, and physical, and he is right.
Yes, sir.
Al, along with the rest of us here, love this time of year.
Zelmer, a rare miss in this game.
Nichols kicks it out to Dillon. Dillon under some pressure. Here's Nichols again, and he's going to be called with the travel. Had the high bounce there and just couldn't control it, and is called with the travel. So the Oak Creek Knights will catch a break, down by 3. Still no score here in the third quarter.
Pretty much how the second quarter started out, with no scoring and miscommunication there, out of bounds.
Well, having a chance, not cashing in. Nichols out to Dillon on the right wing.
Man-to-man defense by the Knights.
Zelmer with a 3, counting.
3-point basket, number 14, Paul Zelmer.
Third three for Paul.
And immediately Walker under the double team. And I don't know.
Brian
that was
Dillon.
just solid defense right there.
Brian Dillon calling for the jump ball, signaling the ref, but I don't think the ref agreed. Obviously not.
They were close, but they were close because they were putting on good defense. There wasn't much contact, if had any, and a tough break for the Cougars. Dillon on Walker.
Way out top. Cougars spreading out their defense, now closing up the middle.
Bear goes around Dougal, and he will draw the foul.
Dougal has done a wonderful job inside.
Follows on the Cougars, number 30.
Drawing the foul there, which will be his second foul.
Second team foul. Substitution.
Jason Elliott will sit down for the Cougars, and coming in, Eric Brown.
But only 2 fouls on Dougal, considering the aggressive play he's provided underneath, is a compliment to his control.
(29-23), Cougars up on top. 5:28 remains in the third. Lob pass into Gardner, and he is
That looked like a clean block, but they're going to call Dougal with a foul. Looked clean from here, but I'm not on top of it.
Yeah, we've got it. Now that's one of those plays where we actually have a very nice look at the floor. We're right on it, but that was kind of at a weird angle.
A shooting foul.
And once again, I'd love to go back and look at that.
Number 33, Tremaine Gardner for 2.
But you know, they had that little close call that just a bit ago went against Oak Creek, so Oak Creek kind of gets it back, so it balances out. Tremaine Gardner coming off a 21-point performance last night against Kenosha Trimper, and underneath is Tim Mikowski.
Tim Mikowski.
Dillon out to Zelmer. Old. Zelmer with the long 2. Rebound Dillon. And Eric Brown is there. Oh.
Dillon got off a shot with a tower of Knights around him.
Tim Mikowski.
And then Mikowski commits the foul, and that will send Eric Brown to the line.
And this will be a good time to let you folks know that the Janesville Sports Shop is proud to be a sponsor of Janesville High School Sports. Visit us downtown now during our end-of-season sale for 50% off all skis, boots, bindings, and clothing. Ski accessories all are 30% off. Janesville Sports Shop carries top name brands such as K2, Solomon, White Stag, Columbia, and Reichley. Janesville Sports Shop, downtown Janesville.
Eric Brown scores the Cougars' 30th and 31st point from the line.
Brown cashing in at the line, and the lead back to 5 for the Cougars. Full court press, which you will see most of the evening, and you have already. Out to Gardner, who gives it back up to Benny Walker. Bear looking inside, will slow it up. Gardner off the dribble, wanted the slam, tried to get too much, and he came away with zip.
Eric
Here's
Brown,
Zelmer on
good
the other
defense.
end, off the glass, nothing there, and he's going to be called with the wall.
No basket, traveling, the violation.
On that run there, fast break, Cougars set up very quickly on defense. They had good defensive possession, and that's what caused all of that. The position of the defense by the Cougars on a fast break is great.
Zelmer thought about it. Here's Dillon, short, big board by Gardner. Oh, and a nice pass, but nothing could come away with it. Godowski and Zelmer, and it's swatted away by Michaels.
Gabe Kraus blocked that shot by the Oak Creek Knights.
Substitution in the Knights lineup. Number 50, Bob Anderson.
Bob Anderson coming back into the game with 3 fouls.
And Gardner will sit down. Had a little contact there, but you got to let him go. And he walks. And nowhere to go. Good defense put on by Oak Creek. And it caused Ben Nichols to draw the traveling. Kind of like the first quarter, not a lot of scoring. Out to Godowski. And there's that quickness on defense.
Oh, Dylan lost control.
And here's an open Clint Bear for the one-hand jam.
Number 30, Clint Bear.
And the Oak Creek Knight fans are loving it. 31-28, 3 minutes to go in the third. We got a good one. And that is lacking foul on number 30, Clint Bear.
Foul is on Oak Creek's number 30, Clint
Bear and Meyer both ended up on the floor there.
Second team foul.
And
looks like Tremaine Gardiner trying to come back in, and they waved him off. That's what the whistle was about.
Dylan under some pressure, baseline, and he tries to get it to Meyer, and he throws it away, and now we'll have the substitutions.
Number 33,
as Nichols and Gardner will come in.
Number 22, Ben Nichols.
31-28, Craig Cougars up by 3. They've been up by 9.
Get it across here, Godowski. Oh, boy. Here's Anderson. No good. Rebound to Walker. And the putback is good. And the lead cut to 1.
Cougars haven't scored since the free throw a while back.
Dylan, right side. Zelmer, the 3. Oh, yeah.
Zelmer for 3.
His 4th three-pointer in this game, and that puts his point total at 21.
And carrying the basketball.
Is the violation.
You got it, PA.
Turnover to the Cougars.
Gotta wait till you get to the NBA to do that.
Number 30,
no kidding.
Brian Dugal.
You won't be called for that. You won't be called with walking or anything like that. And there's Dylan, short. They'll get it back. Zelmer for the tray. Off the mark, out of bounds. And it's going to be out on Gardner. Cougar basketball.
Both Zelmer and Dylan shot that three-pointer from the same spot, both missed. Ironically, Brian Dillon has a higher three-point percentage than Paul Zelmer, not by much, about 6 percentage points.
And I think partly because Zelmer would take more.
Yes.
We haven't seen this Cougar team a whole bunch, but just from the couple of times, Zelmer does put it up more. And there he goes with a runner.
He drives a lane, draws a foul. You think that Paul Zelmer wants to play on the red floor at Madison or what?
You bet.
Hey.
All these guys doing. That's what's so great. At this level, at the college level, they're not playing for big bucks, they're playing to win. And that's why it's great to see the fan support at these levels, and just it's good fun.
And this is a very fine crowd here this evening. Packing them in. Janesville schools do support their teams. And Zelmer adds his 22nd point and 23rd point from the line.
Well, the lead back to 6 for the Cougars. Gadowski out to Brown, or excuse me, Walker. Going baseline is Gadowski, and he will draw the foul and go to the line.
As we're approaching the minute and a half mark here in the third, the Cougars are back up by 6.
Substitution in the Cougar lineup, number 24, Eric Meyer. A shooting foul at the line for the Oak Creek Knights, number 24, Brian Ganowski.
PA talks more than you do, Patrick.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. He
almost talks as much as
he's doing
me.
my job for me here.
Nichols out to Meyer. There's Dillon now. Meyer on the drive. Nice move.
24 for the Cougars, Eric Meyer.
And Eric scores his first 2 points of the evening.
Walker under a double team, gets it out to Henderson. Here's Gardner. And he's going to be called with the
traveling violation.
Travel.
Nichols takes it away from Gardner and then gets called.
That was a weird sequence. There was a whistle. Gardner thought he was a foul, so he was clapping, and he didn't realize he was called with the travel. And Dougal with the block. There's Gardner, short.
And there's that fine defense I mentioned by Brian Dougal with a fantastic block there. And you know, Oak Creek has never even led in this game. They were tied once, but they've never led in this game. It's been a close one, and the Cougars are fighting it out, but they've maintained the lead the entire game.
Well, Oak Creek had that brief lead to get the thing going. They had that little 6-0 run to get the game underway.
Oh, that's
Zelmer
right,
with the
yeah.
3. You can put it on the board.
Paul Zelmer.
26 points and 5 3-pointers for Paul Zelmer.
And almost a steal. There's Gadowski. Nice move, but won't get the bucket, but he is fouled by Brown.
Foul is on the Cougars. Number 54, Eric Brown. Third personal, 5th team foul. Substitutions in the Cougar lineup. Number 50, Jason
And this will be a
Elliott.
good time
Number 22,
for a
Ben
change.
Nichols.
Lou Pros on Milton Avenue is proud to sponsor Janesville Craig High School sports. Come to see the pros at Lou Pros. Our 21-point safety and maintenance program will keep your car in top-notch condition in only 10 minutes with no appointment. Lou Pros, Milton Avenue in Janesville, when it's time for a change.
Brian Gadowski, the 6'4" junior on the line, hit the first. 15 seconds remain in the third. Second is also good. Ben Nichols.
8 seconds, 7.
And he
4
loses the handle.
seconds.
Come on, you can't look at the clock. Lays it in at the buzzer. Nice play there by Ben Walker to round out the third quarter. But they are still down by 5 on the Cougar Knights. The trip to state on the line. And we'll have the telling quarter in just a bit. You're watching Tournament Basketball on Marcus Cable.
Rewrite the Jennings proposal, fax the reports to Dallas, order more business forms. How can I get everything done today? Well, one thing I can do is call Minuteman Press for my business forms. With my account number, my forms are ordered and arrive before I expect them. Minuteman Press makes my job much easier.
Billing forms, letterhead, business cards, brochures, and much more. For all of your printing needs, call the experts at Minuteman Press. Visit our downtown location or call us at 752-7428. Minuteman Press, printing for the job you needed yesterday.
Well, the Craig Cougars are looking for their first trip to the Fieldhouse since 1992. Oak Creek Knights looking for their first trip since 1984. 1 quarter to be played out, and the Cougars up by 5, 41-36. And Zelmer has been the story. He has been hotter than a little red wagon. He's lit it up tonight.
23 points for Paul, and he's got a lot of 5-pointers, 5 to be exact. And he's also scored 5 from the free throw line. The rest were 2s.
Spreading the scoring out. Here's Bear. Stolen away by Dillon. Here he comes.
Off the steal, number 10, Brian Dillon.
5 points for Brian Dillon.
I don't know about that. That's a crazy call, ref. Come on, you even got glasses on. Yeah, but he probably said he moved the pivot foot.
That's exactly what he said, but John Michaels definitely didn't agree, rolled his eyes and shook his head.
I don't either. Zelmer short. But Zelmer gets it right back. Over to Dillon. Nichols, top of the key, short. And a big board by Bear. Walker, and there's a walk. That's a walk, ref, you bet. But the other wasn't. But we won't hold that against you.
Substitution in the Oak Creek lineup, number 50, Bob Anderson. The turnover to the Cougars.
And after that trip to the floor, Ben Walker coming up lame, going down court. We're going to have to watch how he does on defense here. He's still limping. Number 4, watch him on your screen when we get into the defense here. See, he's still favoring that right leg.
Nichols out to Elliott. Zelmer now under a pressure double team, but he gets it away. Dillon around the defenders, thought about, and he's going to be called with a travel at the top of the key.
Now that travel, the same as the one that we disagreed with here a few minutes ago, it results from sliding on the floor where you sudden stop and you slide a little bit. They've been wiping down the floor a lot, but it is getting hot in here and the floor is getting wet.
Michaels and Anderson, and there's going to be a foul away from the ball.
Foul is on the Cougars. Number 54, Eric Brown.
Eric Brown,
personal,
for the Cougars, picks up the foul. 16th foul.
Substitution in the Cougar lineup.
4th foul on Eric Brown.
Elliott.
And he will have to sit down because of that.
Brown, a big key in last night's win.
And Gardner under some pressure, but finds Michaels underneath, counted in the foul.
Michaels was fouled by Brian Dougal, it looked like.
What a nice play there by Gardner, and he, I tell you, for being a big man, he can find the open guy inside.
4th foul on Brian Dougal.
In the Cougar lineup, number 34.
So the Cougars with 2 key inside players in foul trouble, Dougal and Brown.
Number 34, John Michaels.
Well, Gardner is kind of showing that maybe if he's able to play at the next level, he might be more of a guard than anything else. And a timeout on the floor, and that'll be a good time to let you know that the Janesville Sports Shop is proud to be a sponsor of Janesville High School sports. Visit us downtown now during our end-of-season sale for 50% off all skis, boots, bindings, and clothing. Ski accessories are all 30% off. Janesville Sports Shop carries top name brands such as K2, Solomon, Whitestay, Columbia, and Reichling. Janesville Sports Shop, downtown Janesville. And we'd like to thank all our sponsors because without their support, none of this would be possible. 6:24 remaining in the game, 43-38. Cougars up by 5, and they've been kind of up by 5, up by 6, right around that mark for quite some time.
Yeah, most of the third quarter into this quarter, and the Janesville Craig Cougars would like to cap off the season on the state floor. They went 16-0 in the Big 8, the first time since 1966, and they'd sure like to cap that off with a state title. But to get there, they need to maintain this 5 or 6 point lead when that clock reaches 0.
Well, so far, Oak Creek has just not been able to get over that hump. And here's John Michaels trying to get that 3-point play.
A factor in this is going to be the 2 inside defenders for the Cougars with 4 fouls.
Way off the mark, and Ben Nichols will bring it up. Out to Dillon. Here's Nichols, kicks it out to Zelmer from the corner and a 3. No, Michaels with the rebound. Michaels really all alone underneath, coming down with an easy board. Godowski inside to Gardner. Gardner under some pressure, still gets the shot out and has it go down. So a big bucket for Gardner. And the Knights, the lead cut to 3, 43-40, 5:44 remain. And Nichols all alone, but decides to get under the defender and pull up for the 2. And Suter not happy with the shot selection of Ben Nichols.
Second personal.
And Ben Nichols being replaced now, and coming in, Eric Meyer.
Number 24, Eric Meyer.
And I think Suter kind of wanted him to try the 3. He was open for it. And kind of, as he ducked under the defender, pulled up for the 2. You know, when you move like that, you lose some balance, and he had a good enough time to fire the 3. Jason Elliott controls it for the Cougars, and it's out to Dillon. Zelmer going nowhere, and a foul is going to be called. And I believe Godowski getting a hand in.
Foul is on Oak Creek's number 24, Brian Godowski. First personal, 5th team foul.
So Oak Creek in the bonus. The Cougars still are a foul away by the Oak Creek Knights to get to the bonus.
Meyer. And it's stripped away. But
And
right
they've
there
got
is
him
a double
trapped.
team. Here's Elliott. And a lot of things going on underneath. And a foul was going to be called on Oak Creek.
After the steal, the Craig Cougars defense trapped.
Number 33, Tremaine
And then,
Gardner.
like you said, a strange sequence of events.
Team foul. Substitutions for the Oak Creek Knights, number 50, Bob Anderson. For the Cougars, number 22, Ben Nichols, and 54, Eric Brown.
Nichols coming back into the game, and Bob Anderson for the Knights coming in. He's got 3 fouls.
You heard all the substitutions from our PA announcer.
Yeah, that's why I sometimes hesitate to mention it.
Here's Elliott. Zelmer from the line, and he will draw the foul.
Foul is on Oak Creek's number 50, Bob Anderson.
And that was a good target. What happened is Zelmer went after the foul, not the shot, because if you get Anderson now to four fouls, he's been sitting down a while. They need him out of there. He's been a big factor on defense. Hasn't scored, but defensively he's been a terror to the Cougars.
Gives them that much needed size inside.
Zelmer continuing his roll. 24 points.
Right on the 5-minute mark. And it's going to be on the Cougars.
Foul is on the Cougars, number 54, Eric Brown.
And that's Eric Brown, and that's his 5th foul.
Bonus.
Fifth
So
foul,
he is
yes,
out.
sir.
And that is crucial to the Cougars because Dougal in some foul trouble. He's going to have to come in, and it's not like your Oak Creek where you go to the bench and you've got size galore.
Substitution in the Cougar lineup, number 30, Brian Dougal.
Dougal, Zelmer, Elliott.
Well, they still have Gabe Cruz at 6'6" and was a big factor last night, so the well isn't dry.
Knights, number 33, Tremaine Gardner.
Well, you got Zelmer, Dillon, Elliott, Dougal, and Nichols in there for the Cougars. And Gardner hits from the line. Gardner, Walker, Malkowski, John Michaels, and Clint Bear in there for the Knights. Well, make that Bob Anderson instead of Bear. I couldn't see his number.
Both free throws connected. It's a 2-point game.
Elliott. Now the Cougars are being patient. Zelmer. Going to penetrate baseline. Nice move. There's the quickness. Gardner all the way. Oh, just going to get the roll and a big board almost by Elliott. And a foul is going to be called on number 34, John Michaels, the 6'5" senior.
And Oak Creek calling a timeout. 4:28, 46-42, lead back up to 4 for the Cougars.
Foul on number 34, John Michaels. Third personal bonus.
Well, 46-42, and could it be, Patrick, another overtime for Oak Creek? They're down by 4, but you know, anything's possible. Still plenty of time here.
Well, they moved to within 2 there not very many minutes ago.
Well, Oak Creek, you know, really basically the Cinderella story coming into tonight's game with Craig, 14-9. But if you look at the preseason, this was a very highly touted team. They were ranked number 3 in the Wisconsin Basketball Yearbook's preseason ratings. And as I mentioned, throughout the course of a season, it really doesn't matter when your team gets going, as long as it can get going by tournament time, because that's when it counts. And Fort Atkinson is showing it out of the Badger Conference, finishing tied for 6. Sauk Prairie, Monona Grove, and Oregon all out.
Yeah.
And those were the top 3 teams. And, you know, Fort Atkinson, you know, kind of like the girls squad at Fort Atkinson, you know, started to gradually improve midway through the season and just started to gear it up for tournament time, and that's what counts.
Now the downfall of the Oak Creek Knights, having been rated very highly early in the season, was losing close games, and this would classify as a close game. So let's see how they handle this. Hopefully for us, it's they can't handle it, because we'd like to see the Craig Cougars go to Madison.
Oh, you bet.
One of the few times of the year we get to be blatant homers.
Gardner comes away with it, and Walker will bring it up. Walker out to... And Gardner going to be called with a foul, reaching in.
Foul is on Oak Creek's number 33, Tremaine Gardner, 4th personal.
Now this game has had a lot of fouls.
Number 10, Brian Dillon at the line.
Brian Dillon going to the line, and this game has been plagued by fouls, especially the last this quarter, or the last quarter that we're in.
And one of the key front court players of the Cougars has fouled out, and I'm talking about the 6'6" Eric Brown.
Transfer from Indiana, his first year with the Cougars, and I have a strong feeling he'll be a key player next season in his senior year.
I would have to agree. Lead back to 6, as we mentioned. 5 and 6 has been kind of the key lead for the Cougars. Double team is Walker. He gets it out. Dougal tries to tip it away, and here they come. At the other end is Zelmer.
28 points for Paul Zelmer in this game. The crowd explodes. Dougal knocking it out.
And even the big guy, Brian Dougal, showing his quickness.
And Dougal playing under foul trouble, but at this point of the game, he's going to have to give it his all. If he falls out, they're going to have to bring somebody else in. That's all that's to it. 8-point lead now for Craig.
Anderson inside to Gardner under a double team. There's Malkowski. Couldn't get it to fall. There's Anderson with a turnaround. Nothing's happening. Zelmer trying to save it. He does. What a save to Dillon. And here he is, tipped.
They're going to call a foul on Gardner. What a great sequence of events for the Craig Cougars.
Oak Creek foul.
Oh, but what a save by Paul Zelmer. In midair, total control. Just hung in the air and got it to Brian Dillon.
Gardner's out of the game.
And a timeout has been called.
So the 5th foul on Tremaine Gardner, and he leaves the game with 11 points.
And that's just going to be killer. There's no doubt about it that he is their guy. So tough handling the ball, finding the open man inside, and then being able to penetrate. Doing so many things well. Just that's going to really hurt him down the stretch. 3:21 remaining, and their team down by 8.
I'll make a correction. Tremaine Gardner sitting down 5 fouls with 12 points. So 2 key players, 1 from each team out.
But I guess as long as Dougal can stay away from following up, that Oak Creek hurting a lot more with Gardner sitting out than Craig with Brown.
Yes, sir. You're exactly right.
But that's as long as Dougal
is in
stay
there.
away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both
And the
free
lead
throws.
at 10.
Biggest lead of the game for the Craig Cougars with 3 minutes left. What a time for that to happen.
Dougal playing a little kickball.
Brian Dillon, a former soccer player, probably reminiscing old times there.
Thought he had a chance at the goal. Walker at the top, guarded by Dillon. Gets it out to Malkowski. Underneath to Bear, but Anderson is there, and he'll get it off the glass. So a very crucial bucket for the Knights. 2:55 to go, down by 8. Cougars having a chance to wear some time off the clock, and that's what they're doing.
Oak Creek missing a lot of shots underneath here in this quarter.
And here's the ball handling and quickness skills that will pay dividends big time for the Cougars.
That was some nice ball handling there by Ben Nichols.
Violation. Substitution in the Oak Creek.
And a traveling violation called on Brian Dillon. So a big time break for the Knights. They will get it back down by 8, 2.5 to go. The winner moves on to the Fieldhouse in Madison. State tournament time. And you know it's in everybody's mind out on the floor and in this packed gym. Walker under pressure. He's been under pressure most of the evening.
There's one of those sliding travels they didn't call. Maybe they wised up.
Stolen by Dougal. And he'll give it up to Dillon. And once again, Dillon
mugged in the lane.
And we'll go to the
Balls on Oak Creek's number 4, Ben Walker. Third personal, a shooting
Well, with 2 minutes to go, Patrick, I'd like to thank you and everybody at formerly Crown and now Marcus Cable for giving me an opportunity to come aboard and broadcast some of these games. It's been extremely fun. And what a game to cap it all off.
Yeah, we've had some adventures during the season. It's been a lot of fun, and we do have to mention the people that come up on the screen at the end.
Yes.
Producers, directors, and all that. Might not mean a lot to people, but they lug the equipment around, tell us where we should be and what we should be doing, and show you all the pictures. And they just do a wonderful job. Chris Rebout, Dean Glazer, Bernie Albright, Sarah Cummings, and we got to remember Janice Keene, who left us midway through the season.
Janice did a whale of a job, and it was sorry to see her go.
And our big boss back in the office, Chris Urban.
Yep, Christine Urban. And we'd also like to thank all the sponsors because, like we've said throughout, they are crucial in making this all possible. 2:03 remaining. A trip to state on the line. And the Cougars are in high gear, up by 10, 54-44. Quickness is prevailing over size in this one, without a doubt. And they are looking for their first chance at state since 1992, where they lost to Milwaukee King, Rufus King, in the quarterfinals. It would also be their fourth trip in the past 9 seasons, and that just tells you in a nice little package how good of a job that Coach Bob Suter does, and Bob is just a whale of a nice guy.
When I was just a young whippersnapper, he was my gym teacher.
I don't think Bob wants to acknowledge it.
Well, Bob's only 39 now, you remember.
Seeing as, well, we won't tell you your age. See, people might not know that, but if we told them your age, that would tell Bob, and Bob wouldn't like that.
That's right.
And there's a big bucket by Bear, 6'6" senior, and the lead back to 8. And once again, trying to knock that time down a bit. There's Dillon on the drive, and count the 2 this time. Last time he did that, he was caught with the travel, but not this time. A big bucket for the Cougars, lead back to 10. Time wearing down on the Oak Creek Knights. Has their Cinderella tournament season over? We don't know. Well, with that, Mike Gadowski, he would like to say no. Gadowski and the Knights with that saying, hey, we still got some life. And a foul in the backcourt with 1:11 to be played out.
On Oak Creek's number 50, Bob Anderson, 5th personal.
And that's another crucial blow.
In effect. Substitution for
to the Oak Creek Knights, Bob Anderson.
Brian Gadowski.
All right, I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen,
just wait.
have your attention,
yes,
please.
I gotta wait for the PA to talk it out here.
Following the completion of the game.
Yeah, this guy overwhelms our microphones here.
Awarding runner-up and championship medals to both teams. Please remain in the stands.
Do not let your fingers leave your hand.
You know, I gotta tell a little story here. Last night, they were talking about how they allow 12 inches per person in this gym. And luckily, if you're heavy, I don't know what that would do.
I know some people who are twice 12 inches, and I know you do too.
Yes.
Third foul is on number 10, Brian Dillon. 3rd personal at the free throw line for the Oak Creek Knights.
Well, I guess if you're like measure 18 inches, you got to bring a 6-inch kid with you.
I don't know. But I guess they announced to all the fans last night that to scrunch close together because the way the gym was designed, that they only allow 12 inches of seating capacity per person.
You know, if you did some strategic seat planning, that scrunching together could work out pretty well.
I don't know. I thought that was kind of amusing. And my folks were at the game, and a couple people sitting behind them, much larger than 12 inches, say, hey, wait, that's not fair. At churches, they allow 18 inches. Well, the lead cut to 5, believe it or not.
With a minute exactly left. Yeah, last night we couldn't attend the game. We were up at the game you just saw preceding this one on Marcus Cable. Fort Atkinson pulling out an upset win over Oregon, and then Portage pulls out an upset win over Sauk Prairie. And what a turn of events that is in that Division II. Baraboo Sectional.
60 seconds. And a big miss by the Cougars and Brian Dillon. And a chance to cut it to even less. Down by 5. And a block by Nichols, but they get it right back. Here's Bear from a short jumper. No, rebound to Nichols. and he is immediately fouled. Oh boy, and that would have been a big time bucket if the Oak Creek Knights could get the ball to go down, but luckily for the Cougars, they did not.
Oak Creek just trying to stay in there, and now we're forced to foul. Early in the game, the Oak Creek Knights tried the intimidation factor and the slowdown game. Neither of those worked, and as the game's gone along, they tried the fast break, but they're missing the underneath shots. They're getting those shots underneath, missed a lot of them. So the Cougars have maintained the lead throughout the game other than that early 6-point run.
Well, this is going to be the big one, the lead to 6, so that's only still 2 trips down the floor, and that's the crucial one.
That's an important free throw, folks.
That's going to make it oh so tough here for the Knights in the last 30-some seconds. Here's Godowski forcing the 3, short, big rebound to Zelmer. Pushes it up to an open Ben Nichols, and he is fouled hard, and he goes down to the kissing the floor.
An obvious foul. A blind man could call that one, and it'll be on Brian Godowski.
And the chances are looking even better as every second kicks off for the Craig Cougar to get to the big show up at the Fieldhouse in Madison. 25 seconds. And once again on the line, the 6'1" junior Ben Nichols. And Zelmer, God, I mean, he can pass the ball from anywhere out on the floor. He can find the open guy. He is one of the best I've seen all year.
He is a complete guard. Has quite an arsenal.
Imagine having Zelmer and Brett Miller from East Troy in your backcourt. Would you go far?
Or Zelmer and Beanfang wouldn't be a bad matchup either.
Oh, boy.
Number 50, Jason Elliott.
3 of the best.
Personal bonus in effect.
One of the thing about the season ending is after watching games year in and year out, a lot of seniors graduating from all the teams we do that you're going to kind of miss. And one of those, of course, will be Paul Zelmer.
6'5" senior John Michaels on the line, his team down by 7. And the good thing about this here, chance for some points with no time off the clock. Oh, and he got the back of the iron to help him out there. 24 seconds. And he does it. Lead back to 5. They're going to have to foul him, and he does. Godowski on Zelmer. And Zelmer not, but you can't really pick out the guy out there that you don't want on the line to Craig, top to bottom.
Well, on the other side, Craig wants the ball in the hands of their best shooter, so that's who they'll have to foul.
The Knights doing a nice job of fouling quickly.
Yeah,
that's about all they can hope for.
They gave up about a second there.
Yep, doing that, and then hopefully they'll miss. Zelmer with kind of not a typical release, but he can get it done, and anytime you can get it done. What the heck? Kind of has that quick release. Doesn't get it to roll, and the lead to 6, so Oak Creek still hanging on. They're going to have to fire the 3, and there's that defense. And out of bounds on Oak Creek. Craig basketball, and there's that defense. Oak Creek could go nowhere. Dougal to inbound it. Zelmer all alone and quickly fouled. And the Craig bench on their feet. So are the Craig fans. Oak Creek having a feeling it might be it.
A bonus in effect. Substitutions in the Cougar lineup. Number 24.
That was an understatement, a bonus in effect.
At the line, Paul Zelmer.
Zelmer has 32 of the 59 points, over half of what Craig has scored this evening.
He would definitely qualify as my hotter than a little red wagon player tonight.
33 points now for Paul.
Well, on the road to state, barring some unforeseen happenings here down the last 13 seconds. The Cougars knocked out Parker in the first round, then beat McGuanago, and then last night against Beloit Memorial. And possibly here against Oak Creek. Here's Walker, too hard off the glass, and it will go out of bounds, and it will be Oak Creek ball, but 4 seconds remain. And the Craig Cougars are loving it, and they should, because they are on their way to the Fieldhouse in Madison, their first time up there since 1992, and hopefully this time around for these guys, it will be a better outing, and they are on their way to state. Outstanding.
Craig with a second-rated state ranking in the final AP Associated Press poll, first place in the Big 8, and now the sectional champion for the Parker Sectional.
Patrick
Good
and
job.
I will wrap it all up in just a bit. You're watching Tournament Basketball on Marcus Cable.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would join with me, please, in the awards presentation for the sectional runner-ups, the Oak Creek Knights. Individual medals.
Well, we are back.
I don't know that we left, but
well, we are back nonetheless, and congratulations definitely to the Craig Cougars as they will move on to the state tournament, but also a round of applause to the Oak Creek Knights. They'll finish the season 14-10, and having kind of a lackluster season, they really made their presence known in the tournament time. But this game, Craig Cougars, and it was quickness prevailing over size. Their quick defense, points off of steals, just paying dividends, and of course, Paul Zelmer hotter than a little red wagon tonight, Patrick.
Tim Malkowski.
Patrick, still ciphering up some final scores for you.
on the Craig Cougars side, of course, Paul Zelmer, we've been mentioning along the way, 34 points, 5 3-pointers, 9 from the free throw line. Brian Dillon had 13, 7 of those from the free throw line. Eric Brown had 4 falling out, and the rest of the scoring was scattered. For the Oak Creek Knights, Ben Walker finished with 12, as did Tremaine Gardiner before falling out in the 4th, and the rest of their scoring was scattered out. Lots of points for both teams from the free throw line. And now we're going to watch the festivities on the floor as the Craig Cougars receive their award for the sectional championship.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, a team that is going to Madison. Number 12, Chris Dillon.
You're going to see the introduction of the players.
Ryan Dow. Number 24, Eric Meyer. Number 32, Craig Paulson. Number 34, Gabe Cruz. Number 40, Sherry Denson. Number 42, B.J. Dorn. Number 44, P.J. Nielsen. Number 52, Jeff Elliott. And number 54, Eric Brown. And ladies and gentlemen, your starters, number 10, Brian Dillon.
You're gonna hear an explosion here right now.
Number 22, Ben Nichols. Number 30, Brian Dugal. And number 50, Jason Elliott. Ladies and gentlemen, your sectional champion head coach, Bob Suter, for the championship trophy.
And there are the fans.
And we'll be back after this on your markers. Team of the week.
Thank you very much for joining us at Parker High School, and please have a very safe drive home.
Once again, the Cougars on their way to state. Kudos goes out to the head coach, Bob Suter, and all the players after this 61-53 sectional final victory over the Oak Creek Knights. Good luck to the Cougars and Bob Suter at the Fieldhouse in Madison and the state tournament. Best of luck, and thank you, Patrick, for all the fun games that you brought, and Marcus Cable. I tremendously enjoyed myself, and hopefully we'll be back next year to bring you more exciting high school sports. And once again, the final, the Cougars move on to state 61-53. And Patrick, you got something else?
Well, we got to take a look at our sponsors here this evening.
Oh, we should do that. I should not forget about the sponsors. All the mayhem going on. Let's take a look at our sponsors, because without them, none of this would be possible. The Commercial Bank, Jerry's Hamburgers, the Janesville Rental Center, the Janesville Sports Shop, Lions Quick Park, Blue Pros, the Minuteman Press, and Yeoman Lathrop Insurance. So once again, good luck to the Cougars and Bob Suter at Madison.
And I'd like to thank you, Ryan, for joining me this season. Great season. Hope we can do it again next year.
All right, once again, for Patrick Wiesinger, I'm Ryan Schauber. Good luck to the Cougars at state. So long, everybody.
See you at football.
Anyone with questions?
For everyone working to build a business, there is an independent traveler's agent there to help, a partner, someone who understands your needs and can design